The National Weather Service, a winter storm warning, make sure I say it correctly, across Erie County, also Genesee, Wyoming, and Chautauqua, Cattaraugus counties. You see winter weather advisories in purple. Down south, a lake effect snow warning from that National Weather Service Office of Pennsylvania. So here we go with the timing of the snow again. Lake band, here we are intensifying, and we're moving its way across southern Erie County. Your morning commute should be a-okay. If you're a 9 to 5er, your afternoon commute in and around Buffalo is going to be snowy. It's not going to be especially windy today, but we're going to get those big fluffier lake effect. The crystals are actually more moisture-laden and bigger. The fractal itself. Notice a generalized snowfall now combined with the lake enhanced snows. So the snowiest part of the day today will be 3 to 7 p.m. And we're talking, you know, from Tonawanda to Hamburg, getting the heaviest snow during this period of time. You know, a couple inches an hour is possible with these. You see these indigo color here, and then extending into about 8 p.m. or so, and then the lake snow starts to taper off. Well, if you live in East Aurora, lake snow continuing through about 9:30 or so, and now we see the southern tier getting a burst of 1 inch or 2 of snow an hour. The highest totals will be again south of the stadium, between the stadium and Springville in Erie County. We'll end up with the highest totals with this. Lake snow's more sporadic tomorrow. Generally south of the city, it's going to be a cold start to 2026, and then lake snows redevelop Thursday night into Friday across the southern tier. So a couple snow maps to show you. Here's the northern half, obviously. Here's the snow for the rest of 2025. Happy New Year. Here's your day and night's worth of snow until midnight. Southern tier, I'm going to extend you out. First of all, here's your day's worth of snow today. Here's what to expect today in York County. And I'm going to let this go now all the way through Friday. So now here is a 3-day snow total for the southern half of our viewership, which will end up with the highest amounts. And here you start to see this, you know, 2 feet, 2.5 feet of snow for the Chautauqua Ridge. Again, 18 inches or so for southern Erie County into Ellicottville for now through Friday combined. Okay. Happy New Year, everybody. It'll be a quieter day tomorrow, and I'll be home enjoying it. So in the 20s today for Buffalo, 4-ish inches of snow. For the south towns, again, plan on 8 to 12 inches of snow. A cold start as the ball drops. Again, wind chills near 0 tomorrow. Intermittent lake snows tomorrow, and then lake effect snow reinvigorates and targets the southern tier for Friday. Here are the first 6 days of 2026. For the Bills game, it'll be in the 20s. It's not going to be a weather game. It won't be especially windy. I don't think any snow considerations for that game. Go Bills. Happy New Year.
Hello and happy New Year's Eve. I'm meteorologist Christian Maries with your national forecast outlook for today. We are looking at quiet conditions across much of the south. We have a high pressure system situated across the south that's really going to keep conditions clear and chilly for us. However, folks in Southern California and portions of Arizona, they're still dealing with widespread showers from Los Angeles all the way to the Bay Area. And that system is going to continue to bring those showers as we head into this evening. And then for folks off to the northeast, we're likely to see more of those snow showers moving into portions of western PA and portions of western New York, especially as those snow showers move off the Great Lakes. So as we look at our today's forecast, high temps topping out in the mid-30s, especially for New York City, Philadelphia 35, Washington, D.C. at 40 degrees. In Pittsburgh, you're going to see more of those snow showers out towards the west of some of those areas. But across the south, we're still looking at chilly conditions, but sunny skies, highs in the 50s for today. And then 60 in Jackson, Little Rock, 58. Folks out in Florida, they're looking at somewhat chilly conditions across Florida as well. So the cold conditions is reaching as far south as southern Florida and then across Texas. 65 for a high in Houston, San Antonio 68. So we are off to a pleasant start to our New Year's Eve, especially for this afternoon. And then, like I said before, folks that are in the northern areas likely to see some snow showers from Green Bay to Chicago. Chicago is expecting a high of 36 degrees, 33 in Minneapolis, Bismarck at 22. So folks out in Southern California likely to see more of those snow showers, and then 58 degrees in Las Vegas for this afternoon high. And then for the Pacific Northwest in the 30s and 40s with finally mostly quiet conditions for Washington State into Oregon. So as we ring in 2026 here across the nation, this is looking at the temperatures later on tonight. We are going to be in the 40s across the south. For folks out in the northeast, you're still going to be looking at those snow showers, but as we ring in 2026, likely to be at freezing in New York City. And then across Southern California, you're still also looking at those rain chances that are going to persist through much of the day. So as we look at that travel forecast, as folks, travel across the area or across the country heading back home, we're still going to be looking at another weak cold front that is going to cause some slightly cooler conditions for the weekend for folks in the south and the southern part of the U.S. But we are still expecting those above average temps for Houston, getting up to 82 degrees and likely to see more of those showers moving through western portions of our area. So the drought report is showing increasing drought conditions. Unfortunately, most of us have been mostly dry this year, and we are seeing those drought conditions becoming a little bit worse for a large portion of the country as we head into 2026, but expecting it to be warmer than normal across Texas and across more portions of the central portions of the U.S. But as we look at that city forecast for today, a rather pleasant outlook for Dallas-Fort Worth getting up to 64, but Seattle topping out at 45.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Stanonis. Lake effect snow. It's a rare and unique weather phenomenon, and it can happen anywhere there's a large enough lake with cold enough air flowing over the relatively warmer lake water. A more common place for this, for all the weather ingredients to come together, well, it's the Great Lakes region, and that's where we see most of that lake effect snow happening. And lake effect snow, as we know, can have a big weather impact. So let's go more into detail on that and how lake effect snow develops. Well, you get colder air that moves over the warmer lake water, and as that warmer air rises, since it's more buoyant and less dense than colder air, as it rises, it cools and condenses and forms clouds, then precipitation and snowfall that dumps downwind of the lake and over land. And you can get multiple feet in a short period of time from lake effect snow. There are three main weather ingredients that need to come together for this. One, cold enough air flowing over that relatively warmer lake water to generate enough of that instability for convection and that rising air. And the greater the temperature difference, the heavier the snow can be, and you can even get thunder snow. Also, you need enough atmospheric moisture in place to get those snow crystals developing and growing in that rising unstable air. And three, the wind flow over the lake, best case, is over the longest fetch or length of the lake, giving that air more to work with in terms of generating more instability and producing snowfall. So the direction of the wind flow is important for the snow amounts and locations of the heaviest snow bands. For instance, over Lake Erie, when you get that southwesterly wind flow, that's when areas just northeast of the lake can get a lot of heavy snow, including Buffalo, New York. Same for a westerly flow over Lake Ontario. The eastern end of the lake then can get buried in the heavy snow. Another unique thing about lake effect snow is it is very localized. The lake effect snow bands are usually pretty narrow, sometimes only 10 to 15 miles wide, and just a few miles north or south of the band can be mostly sunny. And get this, a lake effect snow machine can just keep going and going for hours and days, generating significant amounts of snow very quickly, as long as the main weather ingredients stay in place. Lake effect snow events can be very intense and of long duration, producing snowfall rates up to around 5 inches per hour, creating whiteout conditions and blizzards. Massive amounts of snow, multiple feet of snow, can be produced in just a day. And lake effect snow events can last many, many days, which can shut down local cities and airports. That's why it is important to stay weather aware of updates on where and when lake effect snow bands can develop, and have a safety plan in place, such as enough supplies to hunker down through the storm, also alternate routes and travel plans well before lake effect snow happens. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Stanonis.